Good morning, everyone. This is Miss Yao here. Today, I would like to share with you a particular question suitable for Primary 5 and Primary 6 students with regards to the concept of repeated identity. Now, let me do a screen share. All right. Now, this question is taken from Conquer Problem Sums, Primary 5, under Thinking Maths at onSponge. Let's take a look at the question. It says, the figure is made up of a rectangle and a square. The area of the square is 1/3 the area of the rectangle. Given that 1/5 of the square is shaded, what fraction of the figure is unshaded? Now, so let's identify where the rectangle is and where the square is. Identified. Okay. So, putting things in perspective, this will be the square, and this will be the rectangle. Now, the area of the square is 1/3 the area of the rectangle. So what I'm going to put down as information would be something like that. Area of square to area of rectangle. Very simplified, yeah? Equals 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, third part of the question, given that 1/5 of the square is shaded, what fraction of the figure is unshaded? Now, let's just try to unpack this part of the question. It says that 1/5 of the square is shaded. The fact that the question talks about a portion being shaded means that there is another portion that is not shaded, isn't it? Okay, so let's try to form a ratio between shaded part of the square versus unshaded part of the square. Okay, so shaded part of the square to unshaded part of the square to the total area of the square. Okay? Now, why am I putting this third quantity down, total area? I need to put that down because in the end, we want to make comparisons between area with the initial piece of information, yeah, that links between area of square and area of rectangle. So we need to put this down, really very crucial to solving the question. Now let's take a look. How can we put in 1 out of 5? So looking at the description, 1/5 of the square is shaded. So out of the entire number of units that make up the area of the square, that makes 5, right? Now if 1 unit is shaded, that means under shaded part of square will be 1. Unshaded part of the square, we need to work it out. That makes 5 units in total. Take away 1 unit, and we are left with 4 units. Okay, I'm putting down all the breakdown of the steps so you know how I derive all the numbers. Next, I tidy up what I have here. So I have 1, 2, 4 to 5. Okay, now in simple terms, out of the whole square, 5 units, this is 1 unit, this is 4 units, and both units make up to be 5. So far, so good? Okay. Now, let's take a look at the rectangle then. We have shaded part of the rectangle to unshaded part of the rectangle. And we also want to consider total area of the rectangle. Now, if the area of the square to the area of the rectangle is 1 to 3, therefore we can actually work out the total area of the rectangle by taking 5 multiplied by 3, yeah, because of the initial ratio between two areas. So we get 15 units for the total area of the rectangle. Okay, what else can we derive in order from the question to fill in shaded part of the rectangle and unshaded part of rectangle? Now, if you look back at the figure, you realize that a portion of the figure is shaded, right? And that same portion that is shaded in the square takes on the same area as the portion shaded in the rectangle. It says 1 unit. So, area of shaded part of the rectangle has to be 1 unit. It doesn't expand, it doesn't contract. So 1 unit in the shaded part of the square is equals to the 1 unit in the shaded part of the rectangle. Lastly, let's find the unshaded portion of the rectangle. So we know that in total, there are 15 units that make up the area of the rectangle. We take away that 1 unit that has been shaded, so the unshaded portion has to be 14. Okay, so I'm going to put this 14 units into the figure. So this will go here. I put 14 down. Okay, so now we have all 3 parts that make up the entire figure. Okay, now at this point you might ask, what makes up the figure, is there any overlap of the shapes when we talk about figure? I don't know. Okay, so what is the figure? Now, figure here always talks about the outline. So is there any room for overlap? No, no overlaps. So we are talking about this portion here, yeah, in the curly line, okay? Just want to make it really obvious so you know what I'm talking about when a question mentions figure. Okay, so this is the figure, and how many units make up the figure? Total units in the figure. Well, we take 4, 1, and another 14. So all in all, it adds up to 19 units. We're almost there, just one more step. What fraction of the figure is unshaded? Now, that means they want you to find unshaded part out of total area. Okay, so let's see. We already know what the total area is. The total area is 19 units, yeah, in the figure. Unshaded part, that will be 4 units and 14 units. So in the numerator, I'm going to break it down by putting down 4u plus 14u, and that gives us 18u out of 19u. Now, since both are in terms of units, let's just put the units away. And in terms of the fraction, it will be then 18 out of 19. So this solves the question. I hope the simple explanation is able to help you understand the question better, yeah, and make full application of this concept of repeated identity. Take care and have a blessed week. Bye.